14.9?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's coming through that same spot as yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same time that white line. Running. Dawn drop. 14. Let's try it.
Thanks. That was a little wider
Still have a
out
bunch.
too.
3 left.
Curl
Yeah.
slow. It'll definitely get there.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Caitlin's rocks seem to be curling. They're all straight. They didn't get there. No.
Mine's good. Mine's good. Just getting there. 14.8. Mine's good. Good throw.
Mine's good.
Thanks. Now that's a 13.4. Okay. 14.7. I think you can go. Little wider path.
You're in the wider stuff.
Clean it. I think you're close.
Dawn's rock. 14.2.
I think you're really close. You're close. You're in a wider path. Oh. Sit.
Nice.
Good.
Oh, wait, mine's perfect.
Wait then, because you guys didn't really touch it.
Yeah.
Mine's good. 14.3. Drop the drop.
That should get there.
We need the pin. We need the pin. We need the pin. Nice weight. Good. I'll get on here.
14.2. Yeah.
Just a bit.
I think her first rock is a cutter. I hope because it curled a lot, and that one, both of them didn't get there on her second. So hopefully they don't notice that.
Yeah, I don't know. First one.
Yeah, it curled hard.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, go guard. They go and hit it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, delay or like just like is good. If they go guard, just go top 8, bite the 4, cheap deuce or blank's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. Let's have a good game.
Yeah.
Good job, guys. Good practice.
Yeah. No, I missed that one, but I was getting like, I had a 13-4 on her last one that went like back 8.
Frozen already, not good.
It was good. It was fun. Up close and personal with the horses.
I know. So crazy.
She has drunk since last week.
Yeah. I can't believe it's like.
Yeah, and that's been happening for a few years, but it's getting more and more pronounced. The World Curling Tour season starts in Europe. So if you want to be on a level playing field, especially for the first couple of slams where it's very important to get points, then you got to start earlier. And I can hear it's called an excuses that, these teams are fully funded and, across the pond. And let me be clear, they might be fully funded, but let's define what fully means. None of them are living a lavish lifestyle. They're doing what most athletes do. They're living month to month, and they've got enough to get by, but they're not living lavish lives. It's not a lot different than what we get here in Canada. The opportunity in Canada still outweighs what you can do overseas, but you do have to give up some other stuff. I never felt like it was a sacrifice when people talk about sacrificing other things. I don't know about you, Tyler. It never felt like that to me because this is exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, maybe you're taking time away from other things to do this, but sometimes it felt like if you were taking time away from curling, you were sacrificing. So exactly what you said. I mean, we do everything else we do in our lives so that we're able to curl because it's our passion. It's what we want to do. And it's something that sticks with you even following your playing career too. It's not a sacrifice for us to be here in the booth because we love being around the sport. We love being at these events, and no event you'd rather call than a slam because you're going to get a great game every time out. And we have another one here. And Carrie Einarson. Grant, these teams obviously very familiar with each other. Expect to see them facing off many times throughout the season.
Very likely at the Scotties.
But huge game for both teams, especially I think for Caitlin after making the A final and now dropping to the B. The walls start to close in a little bit if you lose those first two when you drop to the C final. And now the pressure is on. So this is the game you really want to win so you don't put yourself in that position.
And the extra time off, too. I mean, Caitlin expecting next month from all accounts. I haven't talked to her yet, but everybody says she's feeling great. She's playing great. I know that. I've watched a couple of the games, a couple ends here and there. It looks like she's playing as well as she's ever played. So cool to see that. But I believe she's expecting, her and Stefan are expecting next month, their second child. So that's another complication that you have to deal with if you're going to have a family on top of chasing these curling dreams. But lots of people have done it, so it's possible.
And we wish them the best of luck. Hopefully everything goes well with that. Seems as though from watching Carrie's games in this tournament so far, slow starters a little bit. Kind of the same thing that we saw with Stefania Constantini. The Italians really got things going in the second half of their last two games to secure victories, and Carrie's been able to do that too, and that's what champions do. They figure out a way and get better as the game goes on. So I think if you asked her squad, they'd like to get out to a little faster start and not have to dig out of a hole, and they're just about ready to get underway for Stone.
Krista McCush, now Gordon, as you said, marrying Robbie Gordon. Another curler. It's a small world. There's a lot of couples in curling. But I always used to say, and I remember saying it to Vic Peters when his daughter was playing with Carrie and a couple of the members of now Team Laws, and obviously Vic's one of the guys we miss, a legend of the game. But you don't have to be. He was watching a big game with the Scotties, and Carrie and the team were trailing the whole time. And I remember running into him, and he's pacing back and forth as any good dad does. And I said, Vic, don't worry. You don't have to be in the lead until the very end of the game. And they were down 2 coming home, and Carrie made a great shot for 3, and he kind of waved back across the arena at me with a big smile on his face. But it's more comfortable to be in the lead from the start. Some teams are front runners though, and some teams are great comeback kids, and we've seen that a lot. Yes, you say Constantini, Team Italy.
Yeah, they never led at any point until the final shot last night. So
they finished strong, in my experience, and again, not knowing a ton about them. But so we got a bit of a conservative start. I think both of these teams not known for this, but a little bit known for this. This just proves to me that all these years, Caitlin totally disagreed with Jen's strategy. All the years they played together. Here we are, just playing an open first end. And this
pillar of strength to not say anything for that long, right?
Jen, you're doing it wrong, but I'll let you keep going.
We'll see if they go to the delayed corner now with this Stone biting in the outside 12s. Be fairly conservative if Carrie decides to hit this, which it looks like she is.
Team Einarson having to deal with a ton of adversity over the last 6 months as well. Obviously at the Scotties last year. Bran Muir not being allowed to play. That's still, I don't know what you call it, under review, I guess. It seems like that's been dragging on for a long time, but that's the process. And then, of course, Shannon Burchard, the normal second, dealing with a slight injury. So nice to have Super D in the wings, and, of course, the great 5th player in Kristen Karwacki. But lots of changes. And that team was really rolling for a number of years, and it took a while to get there. But then all of a sudden, it's all kind of coming apart a bit for now.
It's so important that you have a 5th that can step in and you don't feel like you're really taking a big step back. And Kristen, a world-class player, acquitted herself very well on numerous occasions for the squad, coming in at the Scotties last year and now early in this season as well.
The 5th player traveling with the team is still a fairly new phenomenon for the most part. Like, I know for years and years it wasn't even a thought to bring a 5th player because it adds an expense, and in general, maybe I think a lot of the training and everything, overuse and length of the seasons leading to more injuries now, but for the most part, nobody missed games back in the day.
Right. Yeah, we kind of wore it as a badge of honor that we didn't miss games for whatever reason, whether it was bumps and bruises or illness or self-inflicted illness.
Right? Do the kids of today not know that you just chew on Advil all day, extra strength? Only children take regular strength Advil. And I've never ever taken Advil before a game and said, I wish I hadn't, but I have not taken them and said, I wish I had. So I only made that mistake once. But it is a sport. It's super one-sided, sweeping, sliding, everything. When you go to see physio or massage, I've had numerous massage therapists. They remind me never to try curling. You're a mess. But just that one-sided, especially sweeping, one arm low. Generally, people don't change their down arm whether they change sides or not. So you get super out of balance. Benny's happy to show you his 2 triceps. One of them is quite impressive. The other one is less impressive, let's say. But most curlers are really off kilter. So stretching, massage, physio becomes super important. And training a lot on pulling exercises, chin-ups and things like that, rather than pushing, because we spend the whole winter pushing down on that broom.
Yeah, we're a PT's dream. If you like an adventure from one side of the body to the other.
You like broken shoulders, elbows, wrists, and bad knees, you're going to love curlers.
As you say that, I'm stretching my right shoulder out right now.
I woke up with a sore back, too.
Yeah.
I'm going to blame the bed.
They look like the same kick, but
It's not my age, and it's nothing else.
No.
So let's not go there.
Still trading hits here. On the third stone, Selena Negevin. And the outside in. I know, Brent, we would tend to play these just with putting the broom on the stone and throwing firm and taking the ice out of it. But I've seen both teams take 1.5 foot of broom and play outside in, or sorry, inside out.
I think it makes more sense, and I don't know why, but men in general, and then the ladies way more often. I know Jen played inside out a lot, and what it does is allows you to read the ice better too. There's not much ice reading outside in. It's usually straight.
Yeah.
But inside out, it's nice to, so many times, and we, in watching Jen, and obviously I learned lots from her over the years, but we used to say when you get an open hit, let's throw it inside out, because so often in a game, the first inside out shot we throw is a chase around a corner guard, and it's like, I wish we knew what it did here. Dummies. All those open hits were just playing outside
when you
in.
get the free look, might
Right.
as well take it. Lady's very soft, too. We apologize with the mics for the adjacent sheet going for the game.
We
See
like
if
to,
we can
like
get
to be
that
all
altered.
over. We want to cover everything.
Yeah,
If there was a last-minute game switch, our apologies.
So see if we can get that remedied going on to the second end. But on the plus side for us, Brett, then we can just say whatever we think they're thinking.
Not a lot to talk about here. Don't flash.
Yeah.
Don't miss it light.
Boy, they're throwing these light on these hits.
Yeah,
too.
don't miss it light and don't flash right on cue. Oh, no.
She just threw that shot, too, and I think the path was almost identical.
Just really underthrew it.
Yeah, that was maybe
Gotta
hack.
go over here. Yep.
So
Yeah,
there is
no.
that flash.
Now their strategy's perfect.
Yeah,
Okay.
right in the trap.
So.
So now Einarson is going to try to split the house up to a place where there isn't a double. See if they can get the junior deuce.
We've seen this missed a lot light in the first end.
Right. That's the in-between path right in the middle of the 4 foot. So this is dead on that line where we've seen draws and hits missed light or narrow. Sweepers like it at least halfway.
If I'm a sweeper, I want to sweep this until I think I've overdone it. I think, just because of what I've seen all week. It looks like Val threw it perfect, and Super D won't get fooled.
Just stay here.
So where did the nickname Super D come from?
Good
You know
weight.
what? I just heard this story, so I don't remember it, but I'll make something up, okay?
And this is about Don McEwen for those listening.
Yeah, I think it was one of the first spiels that
like
when
that?
Dawn came and joined Team Jones, it was kind of the second half of, and I will get the year wrong, but I don't know, somewhere around 2007.
3/4.
And she came and played, I think one of their first spiels was in Europe. And Dawn came out, and she was a second for years and came and played lead, and just basically right from day one didn't miss any shots. And so they started calling her, you're like a superhero, Dawn, Super Dawn. And then it just got shortened to Super D, and it stuck. It's fitting. I mean, I watched Dawn for a lot of years and didn't really miss, hardly ever. Like every competition there was ever an All-Star, and I'm not a fan of stats, but that was one thing they always got right. Dawn was always the All-Star
Come up
lead.
the hair. It looks a little thick here.
But making runbacks this week, I've seen her make 3 or 4.
Yeah, had a slash run in, losing 2 stones in our last feature game we had with them.
Caitlin needs a slash run back here. As good as anybody at these shots. He's not playing it.
Laws playing the, I think she's playing the slash.
Not as hard as I
two
thought
yellows.
she'd throw it, yeah.
Just papers by. Good throw there from Kate. Barely squeezes by that stone. So same thing for Einarson. Just trying to throw it in a spot that doesn't leave a double. I think you want this to go a couple more feet than that one so you don't have the slash.
If nothing, or I would consider throwing it on the other side. I know you know this path, but at least switch it up for Caitlin a bit. It was awfully close there. I wouldn't want to see her throw that shot again, or you're going to put the pressure on the thrower and the sweeper here, and get it, like you said, Ty, 1 foot farther, and then she'll probably just play the hit and roll in front.
Yeah, the general rule with these shots, if you can throw it someplace where it's thinner than a third for either shot, either slashing or coming off the inside of it, then you've put it in a pretty good spot to avoid the double.
Ideal spot is like the steep double, like way over into the boonies over there.
See if this has gotten any faster. Val's was the first one down this path, and it didn't look like it fooled them at all. It just kind of cleaned it the whole way, so they have a really good idea. But if anything, this will be a foot or two faster.
They did cut the broom down, too. They were in the middle of the 4-foot on the previous draw, and now just inside the edge of the button.
I thought
Same path as mine.
So it says they want to probably throw the same weight, but a little wider
Just play the weight.
to make the slash tougher. So you can do it either way. You can either go a little deeper or a little wider to make that slash tougher.
It's not there.
Yeah.
Challenge is the back one's right on the center line, back 8, so it's not a lot of places, but this is looking, it's tougher.
Yeah, they kind of let it die. If you sweep that another 1.5 feet, you're in a really good spot, but Caitlin will have the same slash, so a little bit of an error there from the sweepers, kind of just tried to finish in the last 20 feet and could have got that farther and made this slash unplayable.
When they said all there, I was like, I don't
Maybe
think
just
so.
got in the outside ice and fudged a little bit.
Interested to see if Caitlin throws the same weight as the last one. Not that it was light, but it was probably like an 8 or a 7.5 maybe, and she easily throws 6.5, but I guess she is carrying a little extra luggage right now, so maybe that's something different, but she looks very comfortable.
It's more like the weight that Xenia Schwaller just threw on her last, an angle run for 1. That one was a burner.
See if they can make the sweeping call here, because Caitlin will be close.
Final stone for Caitlin Laws. Trying to avoid giving a 2 to Carrie Einarson.
Sounded tighter
to
this
hold the
time. I
line,
don't
yeah.
like it.
Kate doesn't like it at all. So that will be a free draw to the rings
Good sweep.
for Einarson. Always good to get the free look, especially when it's for a point.
Okay, Caitlin. Okay.
It's a bit of a late birthday present for Carrie. Birthday was yesterday, but
Happy
Fortunately-
belated birthday, Carrie.
fortunately
Okay.
Selena didn't give her her present till today.
Thinking like a 14.
And they played together for a long time.
Yeah,
So a bit of a,
she might thank her for that present after the end with
Right?
the rapport they have.
it depends on how close they are now. Yeah, if that was certain, I think the ladies are a little bit more polite. The men are more likely to throw
Take
that
that dig.
knife out there, right?
Yeah, I'd be disappointed if you didn't say that to me, Brett.
I might say something.
Yeah.
Depends. Probably to Matt, though. I don't usually speak to the back
think
end.
it's
'Cause I'm
taller,
not
taller.
qualified.
Don't mess with the back end players.
Yeah.
Final stone, first end, Carrie Einarson.
It's
Throwing it to the
curling
paint
like it's good.
for their second point.
You're in the middle now.
I always like to see the sweepers put this right on the lid so you feel like you have that weight too.
Gonna show her the button, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And they do just that, at least the top 4. So it is a 2 for Carrie Einarson and a wide open first end. They lead 2-0 over Caitlin Laws after 1 end.
It's good.
Shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise. And when the pressure's on,
every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
The end, a position, set up the So Brent really thought that was just going to be trading hits all the way out, and maybe just a little soft release from Selena Negevin on that open hit. So Carey does get her 2, and just a 2-point deficit, 7 ends to play. But again, those 2s in the first end of an 8-end game against a high-quality team, it still feels like you kind of gave them a free one there.
Especially the way it happened, just a bit of a lapse in concentration, I would suggest. I think Selena would be the first to admit that. Totally out of character. But it is what it is now. It's not the first time either of these teams will have given up a bad deuce. So important to respond, and Carey throwing it short now, up 2.
A good tight center from Kristen Karwacki.
And Caitlin kind of, in what I've seen from her as a skip, she buys into the idea, I'm going to get shot rock and have you chase. Doesn't throw a ton of corner guards. But they've got a plan.
Kristen also came down to our charity event in Duluth, House of Hearts. Her words, not mine, said she likes to go by Whacker.
Interesting nickname.
Yeah, I'll just leave that be.
For a
but
charity spiel,
that's
especially.
her nickname, yeah.
Okay, good to know. I didn't know that one.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun. Came down for the cause, helped us raise a bunch of money, feed hungry kids, as we like to bring up, and mostly because we want you to know that these players, even though they're world-class elite players, they donate their time for charitable causes and travel out of the country just to come down and support the event. And there's a lot of them out here this week that you see at House of Hearts and the Curl for Kids up in Oakville. Former events such as the Heart to Heart, Thunder Bay, and Sick Kids. I don't know if that one's still going on, Brent.
No, that was Pete Stetsky ran that one for a while, and it's no longer. But he often rumbles about maybe bringing it back.
At the Lupus Spiel in the Twin Cities as well, and yeah, there's any number of players out here on the ice right now and throughout the course of the tournament that you see at those events, and it's why we say it's the best community of people on the planet, any walk of life.
Hard to argue with that. 3 perfect shots from the lead so far. See if Kristen McCush can make it 4. I keep calling her McCush. Sorry, Robbie. Gordon. But
I made it through the entire game last night without calling Corey TC Corey Christensen. I think that's a first for me.
That's pretty good. This one looks like it needs to curl a bit. Might be a little heavy.
I'm trying to turn it over to get to nose and unlock that.
Pretty good.
Yeah, would have liked to maybe move it a little farther, but
another new initiative with a good close friend of mine, Craig Saville, and Ryan Fry, Jess Sabo. There's a new Curling for Cancer, I think.
Okay.
An association with cancer research, and obviously something that hits home close for Craig Saville, having it twice, beating it twice.
More like a bumper. Yeah, because this will be a little bit fresh.
So pump that one up. Bumped it a little too far and allowing Dawn to play the chase. Got to nail the weight here, but it is a bit of a guess. They have an idea after watching those draws to the wing. This should be similar speed, so you could kind of judge it off of that. But the miss here has been light and tight.
Hammering this one to try to get by again. Just whiskers their own, but still makes contact with the red counter and sitting 2, so pretty good result. Does that red-yellow combo play into a jam as well, Brent?
I think if you hit it on the high side, the outside, it doesn't. But if you hit it on the nose, it clips it.
It's almost a little bit of a bonus even. good force set up here again for Einarson.
Is he worried? Yeah, absolutely. Sorry to cut you off, Tyler. I'd be worried about down the middle here, that lineup for Team Einarson. I might deal with the guard here. I know you're trying to make 2, but maybe she's working this up the house for the double. Time will tell.
I would guess she's going to trade hits for as long as she's sitting 2. And they don't want to keep stacking here on this line. So very smart by Carey to roll to the opposite side of the house. So you know, they may or may not have a double if she makes this nose hit now, but they definitely would on the next one if they stack again. So veteran maneuver here. Good call by Einarson.
Also don't know if I want to roll under here. If there is no double, I might want to just stay there because I'd like to see that center situation stay as long as possible.
Yeah, I think rolling all the way over to back 8 is your ideal roll. That's going to be a little too far. Right idea. So door open now for Laws.
Flashback for Laws there, sweeping one of Dawn's rocks. Played together. I think they played together for 12 years. Does that make sense?
That's a long time for any team. You know, generally we see 8 years as the normal shelf life for a team, and 4 if it doesn't go real well,
or 18 months, or 6
less
months
if it goes
in
really
Canada.
Poorly.
We really we buy into the play well or piss off theory here, especially lately.
What was your tenure with Glenn? How long did that team go for?
Well, the team changed a little bit. I played with Glenn for I think a full 10 years, maybe even more than that. But yeah, Rich retired. Legitimately, he didn't play. He did come back, but yeah, Rich retired, and we replaced him with that Wayne Meadow guy. Turned out he was pretty good. Great shot here. See if it gets by, because they did hit it. Didn't hit it quite high enough, but
and leaves what looks to be a pocket double too.
Jake Higgs calls this the can of corn double. I have no idea what that means, but other than it's supposed to be easy.
I've heard can of corn for fly balls in baseball.
Okay.
So I think he's a baseball fan and probably converted it to curling. Heard pair of pants.
Pair of pants makes sense. That's a visual thing. But a can of corn, what is it? Easy to open? Easy to eat?
I guess.
I don't get it.
Yeah. I think with baseball it was if you hit a fly ball right to a guy, like if he didn't move, like he was basically, it would fit in a can of corn. Like
you hit it right into the can.
Perfectly, I think.
Gotcha.
Which, so it really doesn't make sense for curling at all. Thanks, Jake.
No problem for Val.
Love Jake, though. True story at the 18 games, Brent. He hugged me before every game because he was over there for the mixed doubles coaching. So that was
so it's his fault.
Yeah, I don't know why he started it, but he was
luck charm.
He was late for the gold medal game. So we're waiting to march out. We're 30 seconds away. I don't know if you've ever seen Jake run before, but he came booking down the hallway for a big embrace in front of about 40 people and then ran away again.
All right, Jake.
Yeah,
we're no longer friends. Selena trying to get, I think, try and hit and stay wide. Doesn't look like there's room to go low. Doesn't want to jam it. This might be a Selena off to a bit of a slow start. I don't know whose second shot at the back. Looks like red, so
I'd like to give.
Doesn't matter now, though.
Selena the benefit. The other one over curled, this one under curled, but different rock.
Yeah.
Maybe just a little operator error early. Plenty of game to go.
So a free come around now for Val and a great chance for Team Einarson to really put some pressure on Team Laws.
Bonus for both these teams, too. If there is any frustration out there, they're avoiding the swear jar with the mics not being on the game right now.
There was a swear jar brand of whiskey in PEI I saw last night. Not that I was at the liquor store, but I saw it online, I think.
Yeah, somebody that went there told you.
This is tight. The Super D get it by. It's a little light is why it's tight, but
really
not bad.
Good sweep. Big to get that one around. So that is mostly buried. Came out the other side just a touch, but really good spot.
I think a lot of teams would draw now. Caitlin not wanting to take that risk even down 2. There's nothing wrong with this call. Open it up. She's looking to score her 1 now, looking to make the shot as easy as possible. A good out-turn draw to the top of the button here. Could be trouble, but it could be it's the only chance you're going to get 2 unless something crazy happens.
And we got the mics. So no more missing and swearing, ladies. Just over curls, jams on the back, and now a mitt full of yellows in the house. Our colleague John Cullen calls them lemons.
He does.
I always went with bananas.
Okay. I call them rocks.
Yeah.
Myself.
Stones,
Stones, maybe.
Yeah.
Force her to play that.
Yeah, I don't think she wants to throw a guard here. I think Caitlin would have no choice but to draw around. So I like this call. Although you don't want to leave a double and roll behind the corner.
Better side. Yeah, we had kind of played those draws last time we were here, and we were right there.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I think that should be really close.
Yeah.
What about drawing right beside that top one? Leave her the easy pair of pants, can of corn double. But it would avoid her ever hitting and rolling behind the corner guard, which is super tough. But if
force her to make a double and then.
Yeah, that's Carrie's theory.
Yeah, agreed on not throwing the guard too. I mean, you don't want to force your opponent into playing the only shot that can bring 2 into play.
So you think you want to hit this right on the nose, but if you do, that double will roll towards the corner guard if she wants, but maybe it'll be high enough that it wouldn't be shot over the side yellow one. Give up a 2 after the way this end is gone would be disappointing, we'll say. You'd have to stop talking and see if there's any swear jar donations after that.
Just looking to move this stone a few feet. The curl to get it to nose. I don't think that's a bad result, right? I mean, they can probably come around it if they want.
I don't think
but it's a short little run, even if they do. So yeah, there's a double, I guess, on number 1.
So she can now lie shot rock buried, I think.
A 10.5, or probably throw a 10.
But they are lying 6, so they got that going for them.
Yeah, it's usually a good thing. Playing this really soft, based on that broom.
Yeah, I think because it's
playing to a roll and not to a double.
Yeah, the double, if you throw a lot of weight and you hit it anything thick, it's easy to go across the top or spin out. So Caitlin wanting to
Roll into the side one.
pick a weight that if you hit it,
Thinking like 10.5 and it'll come up.
there you go, 10.5.
It looks like a lot of ice, but
still does look like a lot of ice.
10.5's a weird weight for me.
We can hit like a quarter also to go right into it. So.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then you want to, if you hit a third with 10.5, I'm not sure you'll stay for shot rock. I would play a weight that if it's a quarter rock double, I would play it so that if you hit a third, it doesn't roll too far. If you hit half, it's still good. I always needed a huge margin for error, though, so I got good at picking the right weight.
That's the idea, yeah. Make it as easy as possible for me to not miss. We're just playing the roll here with looks to be control weight.
Is it in between? Oh, no.
That's going to bounce right over the top.
Not okay, and it's also not good. Second shot, maybe.
It might be second.
Looks like they're
We're
second.
first, so I think we just go right here.
Just not quite the right weight. Well thrown, so
even if we're
close,
here,
but
that's
they got in
pretty good.
between. Like, sweep it or don't, and
Got a
it's
14.7
fine.
on your last one.
But if she's 10 feet lighter, that's perfect. If she would have been shot rock on the
A little more
corner.
ice than what I gave you, which should be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a little too much weight for that shot, as you said, because you could hit it thinner with softer weight and still use it as a stopper and be buried.
Yeah.
And if you hit that exact spot with
Hey guys, we're first.
maybe
They're-
somewhere
I think we're
between
second.
solid hack and board, then you probably roll dead onto that
straight
spot in
draw
the shot.
round.
The other thing is here, she can go around here and leave a double, a nose double, and it won't be
Still went
second
for one.
shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good call by
I'll
Carrie
give you what I just gave you, hey?
to come around this stone and
That's close.
put pressure on Laws to make a double just for a single point.
I think she probably wants to be back 4, back 8 here. If she's just half buried, there might be a double and roll for 2.
That's all about the line. As long as you get it buried, it's probably not a shot for 2. This has got to go for weight, though. Really has to go.
Hard!
Hard,
Whoa.
hard, roll it off, roll it off, roll it
Whoa,
off.
whoa, 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 whoa.
Look, we'd leave a hit for 2.
Yeah, they do still.
Accidentally good.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
It is. There's no shot for 2. She's lying too.
Not this one, though.
No, I know, but if we make the double.
Now the sweepers kept going. Thankfully, Carrie was trying to call him off at the end, but
I don't know if we'll get shot.
it's a
See,
really tough.
Easiest shot to score 1 is still the double.
Yeah.
Throw it hard.
I think most times it actually spins up, no matter which one. Even if you hit the lower one first, they're so close together, it might still spin up a little.
I think that out will run straighter, but it's going to be harder to get that way.
She's thinking about the triple. I don't think there's enough room to hit the middle one's thin enough.
No, I don't think so.
Come back flatter. That's with you. Okay.
So if we both don't think so, this would be a triple for 2 from Caitlin. Just missed the right one. Hit the center one as thin as possible and hope that it stays right there. The double's simple. Caitlin makes this almost every time.
Triple, but we kind of have to get 2, but if we make the double, it'll be for 1.
Selena thought it might be for 2.
Playing the out.
Either way, get by that outside one as thin as possible. And if you do tick it, you're still going to score.
Heel.
As you tick that one, it's still going to make the double easy. Just your shooter will roll right up into that corner guard.
Final stone, second end. Caitlin Laws playing this pocket double. Likely for 1. Looked like a little flare on the release there.
Be thick on this? I don't think so.
Yeah, good
Hard
enough
enough.
for a single.
Saved by the speed.
Yeah, just enough weight to push that out of the 8-foot for what we believe is 1 red, and they agree. So Laws gets her single. Einarson leads 2-1 after 2 ends of play.
When you've conquered another game, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Goldline's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
It's a Goldline.
And is the choice of champions.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a Goldline. It's a Goldline. It's a Goldline.
And it's the choice of champions.
So a double for Laws on her last in the second end. Secures the single, trailing 2-1. Carrie Einarson in this B event final. At the Grand Slam of Curling HearingLife Tour Challenge. Tyler George with 3-time world champion Brent Lang. Brent, they were looking at a pile of yellow stones up until the final couple shots, but really no danger stones. Caitlin does get that all-important point. They just have a 1-point deficit early in the game.
Yeah, it hasn't been a lot of craziness so far, but a perfect start for Einarson. That's how, anytime you have the last rock advantage, you want to score more than 1. 2 is great. And then when you don't have last rock advantage, you want to force to 1. So they can keep repeating this without being a math whiz. I think that would be good for Team Einarson. If you score more than the other team and then force them to less, you add them all up at the end, you're probably going to win. So Caitlin now throwing the center guard, needs to play, needs to force here would be her idea. And if they get a steal opportunity, that would be great too.
Yeah, that's the simple curling math again. Get two, give one. You're going to win a lot of games.
Keep doing it. It's called the death beat. Feels terrible when you're on the wrong side of a death beat. Just clinically tearing you apart.
That goes the other way too. If you look at the scoreboard and if you're trailing, as long as there's enough ends left that you can get two, give one, and win the game, you still feel like you're in pretty good shape, or at least not dire straits.
As soon as it got like.
Yeah, Robert Desjardins. You play against
Bobby.
Yeah. He used to have a theory, and he used to keep stats on everything. He is a curling fanatic.
Yep.
But he would talk about breaks in curling, kind of like break points in tennis.
Right.
And it's similar to that. He had it figured out, like a steal is a break, or giving up a deuce, and it helped him know when to quit. We're down 2 breaks. We're out of here. Not possible. Mathematically, we have no chance.
Yeah, I think for us it was less mathematical than arbitrary.
Right.
I don't think we want to play anymore.
It doesn't look like we're going to beat these guys. Yeah. An interesting rule in curling that you can quit, not at any time, because especially in these when there's people paying to see us, you have to play a minimum of 5 ends. At World Championships, Briars, National Championships, there's often a requirement, but at any time, if you feel like you want to shake hands, you can. And I've
had a few 2-end games. I can tell you that.
Those are really not fun. I don't think I've ever won a 2-ender, but I do remember losing one.
I know I lost an 8-0 2-end game back in the day.
Yeah.
That was in a club game or something like that. So there was no reason to continue to play. It was not the joy of the game at that point.
No, it's not.
I just love being out here.
Yeah.
Well, not on this team, you don't.
Another good setup by the Leeds. The Kristens, we'll call them.
Yeah, very solid start for both Leeds. Starting to see the stones pile up in the center. Generally good for the team without Hammer.
You think we'll see a point in curling where the ability to quit is gone until... But the problem is that you can be mathematically eliminated. It's not like baseball where you can score unlimited runs.
Yeah, as a competitor, I would hope that you still had that option. But if it came to a point where it was more beneficial for television coverage to continue to play the game straight through, like as you said, it's the only sport that I can think of where math can come into play on whether or not the game is indeed over, as opposed to in baseball you're down by 15 runs, 2 outs in the 9th.
It's not over yet.
Technically, the game's not over. So.
Right.
The second baseman's pitching, and it's the only one where the game is officially over before it's over because of math. So yeah, it's hard to say. But don't take my ability to quit because I don't want to play anymore out of my hands.
I know, I hear you. But it is unique to curling, I think.
I love the idea that we have a sport where you can have a conversation with your teammates. Is, do we want to keep playing? And you don't have to.
You guys thirsty? Let's get out of here. They're going to buy us a beer.
Yep.
And yeah, that sounds better than whatever's happening out here.
Or we could just continue to hate ourselves and bicker and play this out like the champions we are.
Jocelyn now being asked to play a freeze in there. She came up light on her first attempt, and Dawn peeled it off. It's a bit of a cat and mouse game. Actually, they are throwing the guard, rather.
Just trying to make Einarson waste a few shots as they're playing clears.
Kind of tempting her a little bit to throw another draw. Shot rock shooting. They just showed some, speaking of math and percentages, Team Homan won more than 90% of their games last year. That's pretty crazy. We always used to talk about, if you won 75% of your games as a curling team, you're going to have a hell of a year.
If you win over 90% of your games, that means that your average win streak was 9 games.
All right, I don't know if that's true, but I'll buy it.
I mean, I guess it has to be if you win over 90%. That's 9
out
of
10. You don't lose much.
Yeah. Trying to think, like, if you won 9 in a row at any point, you think, boys, geez, we're getting
cooking.
after it. Yeah.
Cooking in a good way, John Cullen, not cooked like your curling career. Ouch, that was a stinger.
Well, he said it himself, so it's all right.
They gotta do something.
Yeah.
Sticking with it here. Eventually, Caitlin's going to come in the rings and freeze on that red, I think, Tyler. And then Carrie's going to have a bit of a challenge. Do you want to wait to draw till it's that? Or would you rather draw when they're throwing a guard?
I mean, I think
I'd make a move.
I'm not positive if Carrie's going to peel again if you throw one more guard.
I'm also not positive that they are. This looks like ice for the freeze. It would be very similar ice for both shots, but it didn't look very hard.
Yeah, Kate's not really motioning like it's anything but a guard. Generally, you see that skip put in the broom. This is right where we want it, but yep, just another guard. So are you taking the initiative here if you're Carrie and going in?
I would have for sure if that back red one's buried, but now you can make a double peel, and that's
that does
pretty
change things up
comfortable.
a
Yeah,
little
if
bit.
that was a rock to the right, I would have played the out turn come around. But I think this is a good call. Because what's Caitlin going to do next? She's going to play the nose double on the yellows, and
yeah, now you can't play that freeze really.
No chance. So you got two chances to make a double and get out of it with a blank. They should be close together. And no danger of a steal, really. Simple double peel, but it's got to be made, and you don't want to hit it so thin it spins in the house. No problem for Val.
Well done by Val Sweeting. I always like Val's demeanor out there, very calming. Obviously,
on your first, you were just
very
like a little
intelligent
bit.
player.
That one I actually really liked.
Good ice reader.
It was just different from the first one. That's why I said yes.
Record speaks for itself. Skip number 2 on the team.
Yeah.
And they talked about these 4 ladies being 4 skips for a long time. Got a little tiring. I mean, Shannon was only like 23 or something when they started playing together, so she was a skip in juniors.
It speaks to, see the double made perfectly by Selena. It speaks to the character and the maturity of the teammates when you can take that step back from the skip position, take another spot, especially if you're going to a front end position.
Yeah, for sure.
And to be able to succeed after that, we always had with our team, and we used Bill Belichick's mantra, do your job. So having a different job with that squad and learning what your role is with the team, not just what position you're playing, but what they expect of you communication-wise, and who's the energy person, who's the shut their mouth and do their job person.
Muzzy's the answer to the first one on your team.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy one.
Steiner would be the answer to the second one.
That's a pretty easy one there, too.
So a simple double here for Val, but needs to be made. Out turn, hit it on the broom side. Almost anywhere, just can't be super thin.
That'll work just fine. So mission accomplished for this end for Team Einarson.
I thought to get a little bit
They
close to the line, but here
have the blank opportunity.
I don't mind.
The other thing they proved on this team was that skips can learn how to sweep.
Yeah.
Right? That's always been a
good sweepers on that team.
But some skips really pride themselves on their sweeping. I can name 2 right now.
Yep.
If I asked you who's the best sweeping skip in men's curling, who is it?
Ooh, boy. I might have to think about that one through
Used
the
to
break.
be Kevin Martin. I mean, it's really a stupid question, but Kevin, if it got to the tee line and he got that
6 feet.
those big bear mitts on it, holy man.
Yeah, see, that's the important question. Are we saying the skip that thinks they're the best sweeper even if they were sweeping full length?
Oh,
or
probably.
the best skip for 6 feet?
My
to get
answers
the
are
rock
the
through?
same.
Okay.
Two Canadians, and
Okay.
I don't. Both of them have kind of mentioned it to me.
I'd put Brad Jacobs up there. In that
Oh, you
group,
nailed
probably.
it.
All right,
it
there we
drives them
go.
nuts when people say anybody's better than him.
All right, well, there you go, Brad.
Yeah.
Tops. We both got you top of the list.
And then on the women's side?
Right to it.
Oh, boy.
Right to it, right to it, right to it. Little roll, Josh. Let's see.
Got to think about this one now.
She's out here right now.
Okay.
On the sheet near us, calling an intern draw for her lead. Her out turn draw, sorry.
Yeah, she was right up there. Anna Hasselborg, I thought, too.
For
is up
sure.
there.
It's Rachel that's right in front of us.
Yeah.
And I think she got
Rachel was the first one I thought of, and I was trying to think if there's somebody else.
I think she got some really good results when they were doing some testing with
Also, we've got
pressure
numbers
broom.
to it, too. Okay.
And then I think that drove her team a little bit crazy because I think she might have, knowing Rachel, she might have rubbed that in a little bit from time to time.
It may have come up casually in conversation.
As any good skip would.
Schuster's very proud of his sweeping, I can tell you that. He's pretty good on the brush when he leans on it.
Okay.
He likes jumping in every once in a while, too, and we let him.
Right?
Especially if it was for me.
We're back to the first end situation here, but nobody's going to flash this end, I don't think, so.
And there is the blank for
two more to
Einarson.
come.
Yep. I assume with the rollout, that was it. Couldn't see the stones on that end.
No, all good. I distracted you with the difficult question.
Boy, I might have really jinxed her now. Actually saying something that is going to happen in the future.
Yeah, that would get a hair bit of bite, but.
Nice chance for Caitlin to throw a comfortable draw to the button. Looks like she's going to over curl. Maybe there's a bit of a tricky
Edge of
spot.
4 line.
Yeah, edge of 4, she says. Thinking
A little
maybe
stickier across the middle here.
maybe it's a little trickier there. And talking about the speed, not quite up to par because it's not the perfect draw button.
Yeah, and we talked about the
trickiest
trickiest spot being right in the middle of the forefoot, basically, around the edge of the forest for where you put the broom.
I had a 13-9 on carries, like broom off, and then it came up like.
I think generally, just from the amount of reps we've seen, teams put carry on her intern side more often. Might be like a 2 or 3% difference or something like that, but that's what we've seen in talking with other women's teams if they're putting stones in certain places. But when we talk about those types of things, it's not, oh, they're terrible with this turn. It's, if I'm playing Nicholas, I'm putting him on his in turn as opposed to his out. But it means he's hitting at 90 instead of 95%.
It's true, and it's just maybe a feeling, a thought, sometimes numbers to back it up.
Good job, guys. Please.
No trouble from Caitlin. Carrie going to be forced to make the out turn blank here.
Yeah, putting her on the opposite turn than the previous shot, never a bad thing. This is kind of right in between where they run and where they take a turn.
14 or like 13-8?
13-7. Nice throw.
The short roll right, playing the outside of the stone for Einarson. Just cleaning on the way down the sheet here.
You didn't jinx her. No trouble. Oh, you
boy.
got her. Big trouble.
Yeah, they were cleaning, and then that was it. So
they didn't panic at all.
No. Let's say it picked, so it was the curling gods because of me. So Einarson takes a single here in the third ends, and now leads 3-1 after 3 ends of play.
When you've conquered another game, along eat locally, enjoy casually.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Goldline's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And
with an error by the last rock thrower, Carrie Einarson, but Brent missing on the side that you want to miss on if you're going to have a slight mistake, take the point as opposed to the flash.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to flash it, but she won't be happy with that. But again, I don't know if everybody got lulled to sleep like they did, like I did. The wide open hit, and then they didn't sweep it early. It almost looked just before impact, I thought Val's hand was in the air, like good shot, and it didn't really come close to rolling out. Anyway, a 2-point lead. Break for team laws. Get the hammer back here, and now we're going to see a corner guard. Carey went short in the second, but called it. I wonder if that one in the second that was short was an accident.
Yeah, that one right to the lid.
Finish at the end, but go for it down.
Doesn't change much other than this way it forces Caitlin to throw a corner guard.
Keep going, far as you can. Far as you can. Little more.
Good corner there from Kristen Gordon.
It seems like not an important shot, but it has to be tight enough to the rings that it's usable. And what I said we mean by usable is if you get buried behind it, it's not super easy to chase, because if it's a couple feet higher than that, there's just too much time for the rock to curl past the guard and bump it out.
Yeah, and if you were considering throwing a second guard on the same side, hard to have a lot of distance between them when it's a mid too, but that is a usable corner. Anything deep, you could probably dig it out, but anything top half of the house would be more difficult.
Stay on it. Line's good.
Carwacky playing the tight center guard now, following up her draw to the button.
Whoa. Finish it here. Can go ahead. Yep.
That's perfectly done. Nice shot.
Kristen putting a good half of a game together. I don't think she's missed yet.
Yeah. I'd have the century watch on her for the hundo. Once you get through 3 ends, you can start looking at it. We had one the other night where Colin and I were pretty certain.
Oh, yeah?
The Italian men's lead, Tornaz, Tia. We had him perfect the entire game.
If you're looking for perfect leads, look for the teams that are losing. They're good at throwing corner guards.
Oddly enough, they did not win that game.
Interesting.
Boy, guys, that was fantastic today. I don't know what you were doing, but
I didn't miss the free guard zone once on my 16 guards.
Yeah.
Can't hurt it. Go.
Good looking shot here. Both Kristen's playing really well so far.
Yeah, that's perfect. Great shot from Gordon.
That's how it would go on the strategy board, wouldn't it? Okay, we're going to go top button. They're going to go corner. We're going to go tight guard. They're going to freeze. It would look just like that.
Yep, good execution from both teams here.
Dawn McEwen, a shot she's played 7 million times.
Yep, in Dawn's comfort zone. This intern come around draw.
Line's good.
Just to make sure they're not heavy here. You don't want to think that in the hack, but what you do want to think is, maybe you're thinking top 12. Top, just short guard, let the tight guard, let the sweepers do the rest. I think everybody's different. What did you think when you're throwing a draw, Tyler? Like if you've got to draw the button, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking I'm drawing the button.
Whoa. Great shot.
Okay.
I mean, if it was a particular shot where you really couldn't be a certain place, it's in the back of your mind. You're not thinking don't throw it here, but you know how it is. With at this level of play, you intrinsically know where you can and can't be. But I didn't really think of it in terms of, unless there was a good reason for it, I'm just going to lay it out there for you. Yep. If it's lightning fast ice, you might say I'm going to try to throw it to the sweepers and let them take care of it. But under normal circumstances, I'm just making the shot.
And the run back here.
Nice shot, Josh. Good. Sit. Good.
Not a bad result, clearing things up a little bit for Joss with.
They seem great to me, but they're so positive out there, they're confusing me.
Yeah, it's still kind of buried.
Yeah.
Edge to edge, somewhere in there.
Opened up the forefoot, I guess. Yeah, and I think the mindset's a little different front end to back end, too. But it's more like especially in the front end, a bit of a conservative strategy and a cocky throw. Like if you were in a place like that where Dawn knows, okay, I'm going to make this shot, but I'm going to try and throw this biting the top 12 foot. And then if I'm a little heavy, I'm good. If I'm a little light, it's still going to be okay. But that's the benefit of playing front end. You can think a little bit more like that. But then every now and again, it comes down to, what's my miss? And Skip has to look at you and say, you don't have one.
You just make this.
That looked like it picked, or she just didn't throw enough rotation. Yeah, the wider you go, the more it curls, it seems.
It did look like it was out wider, too. So.
Spinner. Try and keep
Only had the pleasure once with Continental Cup. But Dawn always seemed to me like the consummate teammate, too. Yeah. Just does whatever she needs to do, always supportive. You had a lot more experience around her, obviously.
Yeah, Jen loved Dawn. They got along super well. They still talk lots and remain close. Not that she's not close to the rest of her teammates, but And that team functioned extremely well.
Not Jill. She hates Jill, obviously.
Oh, yeah. Tired of Jill, for sure. Nobody likes Jill.
It's just a little dig to our good friend, Jill Officer. Maybe watching out there somewhere. We love Jilly.
That's okay, just get low.
Another great consummate teammate. Jen knows how to put teams together.
I guess so. Seems like they had some success. And Jill, one of the things I've always admired about Jill is she's always open to improving and to listening to feedback and knowing that she doesn't know everything and happy to learn. Lots of people aren't quite like that. I'm not going to name names on that one, but there's lots of them. You've never played with anybody like that, but I have. Actually haven't really, but I've seen other guys.
Generally, the teams that don't win are the ones that have a few of those on the team.
Really hard.
So trying to clean this up, Carrie thinks maybe if we hit it high, we can get the double, but will it drag onto the red? No.
A little separation there. So, and obviously Caitlin Law is on the same sheet now too. And if you're going to have a good disposition, supportive person on the team, look no farther than Kate.
What do you think in here?
She brought the youthful energy and the excitement and everything else, being young. Like, she was just fresh out of juniors, having played for maybe 1 year in ladies with Kathy King, Kathy Borst, how many other names, but it seemed to work out. They won a few tournaments. They won a Olympic gold, world championship, lots of good stuff. So trying to get this buried, you want to go around the corner, but you don't want to leave a double. So top 12 buried would be really nice.
That would be ideal. The height of the guard is perfect for that spot. So just trying to bury this. Top rings above the number 1 counter in the top of the 8-foot, but they think it's heavy, so they're going to go as deep as they can now.
Keep going.
Good audible by the sweepers. Good read.
It's good.
That's all communication.
That's fine. That's a good secondary spot.
Just hit and roll.
Carrie can't afford to take on the double.
Can we do that without jamming?
What do you like?
And that's the reason for those watching that weren't sure why they took it as deep as they did. You're just trying to take the double opportunity away, especially the one where you're playing off of the number 1 counter.
Can I go this way without jamming?
Lots of room to do that, yeah, with the right weight. But it is uncomfortable.
Yeah, like half a rock or so.
Smart by Val to come down and look at the angles on what weight would jam if you're going to make the roll.
If you want to take that and then hope they leave a double for you.
True.
That's not a bad call. If you're going to hit the...
Just rip it, you mean, or?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to stay there.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to stay there. If you're hitting the middle one, you have to stay shot. And to do that and roll behind the corner, you have to...
Rip this out and then hope Carrie has a double off that middle
Val's
one.
explaining it for you. You know they're going to go around again.
Yeah, I have over half.
Oh, okay.
So,
firm.
Yeah.
Just make this one go away. Sticking there would be worse.
Yeah, you don't want to stick. I mean,
another jammable stone for when they go around again, because you know that's what Caitlin's playing.
Yeah, they're 100% drawn under the corner. Probably no matter where this goes, unless they roll for shot, which would have to be firm and then roll in.
You have to go through the guard somehow, too, because I think she said half, she can see.
Oh, yeah, from that angle, yeah, you're not doing that.
She's a lefty, so she gets a little extra peek at it, but no, I don't think there's room to do much on the inside.
Crafty.
Called and made, didn't love her slide. That's what crafty means. Got it online anyway.
You want to do that or the same?
A very results-oriented sport.
Which one? That one. Back. You know, where are you going back, Ethan? Yeah.
Throwing it to back 8, so pretty close to where the last one was, too. Just like to not overbury so that it comes out the other side like the previous draw. So Negavin's second.
A lot less.
Hey, a little tighter line.
Not moving yet.
Peterman and Gordon
Line's good.
on the sweep, just looking for back 8.
Curl if you can.
No, line's good.
Doesn't really need to be buried, just needs to be in the
13-5.
ring second shot, really.
13-5, so this is cruising. Needs to hit the brakes. Should stop for shot. A little deeper than they like, but still sitting 2.
Will she take on the double now? Carrie wants to.
Good call. Good feet.
We just nose and then leave me
It's
the
a little
crack at the
dangerous.
double.
So you bring 3 into play if you don't make the double.
You heard her plan.
Good control should be good.
Nose, and then on my last one, I take a crack at the double.
Yeah.
Caitlin will probably try and hit and roll buried, though.
Yep.
But then you might have a freeze to the back one. Probably wouldn't be shot, though.
Just nose, and then hopefully she'll leave me a crack at a double.
Yeah.
I think this is smart by Carrie, just because you
Control.
cannot roll out playing the slash and miss it and leave the draw around, especially playing scoreboard up by 2. Don't bring 3 into the picture. And the only way 3 comes in is if Caitlin makes a great hit and roll buried and leaves a difficult shot for Einarson on her last. Just playing the intern nose takeout. And the higher the rocks stack up, the less thin the double is, too, if they're going to take it on the last shot.
You give this a go if you're Caitlin. You try the double. The problem is if you roll part way, then you leave her a nose double to force you.
Yeah.
At least right now the slash is a blank.
Keep it up a bit.
Yeah, I think you're having a pretty good go at the roll here. Obviously, you need to stick around first and foremost, but
How to watch the jam. I still kind of like the out. I've seen a lot of hits this way. Like 10.5.
Big B final coming up this afternoon, 3 o'clock Eastern time on Sportsnet. Mike McEwen versus Nicholas Edin.
Nick still got some battle scars from yesterday's game against Bruce. What a game that was.
No doubt.
10.5.
Bruce was walking on water every time they needed a big shot. He made 3 shots in that game that were probably 30% or lower for the best in the world.
Oh, for sure.
The 12-foot crosshouse double was probably the easiest of the 3.
So I don't know, did she decide to give the roll a crack or just nose it?
I think she did.
Clean, easy,
Clean. Whoa.
easy, whoa!
Whoa.
And they're calling it like they're just playing for nose.
Oh, oh, they are going for nose. Jammed it at the back, too. Maybe could have made a bit of a better line call. Made that double anyway, just in case she makes the double and stays now.
Nice throw, Caitlin. Didn't do
They're
anything.
solid.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise they didn't have a go at the roll there, Brent.
Yep, I like that.
I think probably she was afraid of the halfway. Like you can't roll out.
Yeah,
so
I mean, she's getting a look at the double no matter what. It's just a little easier if you roll over, but maybe she's afraid they might freeze and kill the end if you roll under. But I mean, you're doing it against 3.
Yeah.
I think I would have had a go at the roll.
Yeah, not wrong for sure. This, she can make the double and stay. That would be disappointing for Team Laws. Would have to be on the center line side. Across the top rolls out. That's how hard Carrie will probably throw this.
In-turn double attempt. Einarson's last in the 4th. Perfectly done. Great shot.
Ouch.
That worst case scenario for
At
Laws.
the end, it took like a little turn. I was like, nah.
Now forced to draw for 1. Great shot from Carrie Einarson.
Just clipped the back one, almost lost it. If that had curled another quarter inch, Carrie wouldn't have been quite so giggly at the end, but well thrown and made. Now Caitlin with a little bit of an awkward draw. I mean, it is only to the 8-foot, but anytime you have to draw across the face of one, it's a bit awkward, and drawing away from the button.
And she's inside the regular draw path too, Brent. And the misses we've seen again all week long on these shots are light and narrow. Narrow shouldn't be much of an issue here, but Once it crosses the center line, it really starts to grind. So sweepers need to stay on this stone.
I don't know if this looks wider than the 2 draws Selena threw, but she could just take the known path and throw exactly where Selena did, but I don't exactly remember where the broom was, but this looks wider than that. She was nowhere near the guard, so it's not like that's a problem.
So final stone of the first half of this feature matchup. Caitlin Laws throwing the draw to the side of the 4-foot, side of the 8-foot. Just needs to touch the 8. No problem at all, perfectly done. Einarson forces Laws to a single at the break. Einarson leads 3-2 over Laws.
Is the choice of champions.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Come in. Locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, eat locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Matchup, this B event final. The HearingLife Tour Challenge Tier 1 event. Live to you from Prince Edward Island here in Charlottetown. First slam of the season. Tyler George here with Brent Lang. Brent felt like Einarson kind of controlled the action for the most part in the first half, but not a lot of complicated ends, even with a bunch of rocks in play, a lot of them in the house. The ends that we did have that. So guessing Laws is going to really try to bunch things up and push the action on Carey, see if they can get a steal of force here in 5.
Yeah, we haven't seen the real mess in the 4-foot yet. And I think that's comfortable for both of these teams. And to be honest, when you have the hammer and you have a chance at 2 and it's not all in the 4-foot, that's a better situation. So managing the game as they usually do. The leads have played extremely well, which has made it easier to manage the game too. This one's looking a little light from Kristen Karwacki, though. This is another center guard, essentially, no matter where it stops.
Okay.
Quick spin around the other games this afternoon. Over on sheet A, C event semifinal, Anna Hasselborg with a 2-1 lead over Kim. On sheet B, Team Rana, that's another final over there, or B event final, not final score. Rana leading Peterson / TC 3-1, playing the fifth. And the other B final, Schwaller and Homan. Over on sheet D, Schwaller with a 3-1 lead over Rachel Homan. Playing the fifth end, Homan with hammer.
Right on the tee. Yep. A little more. Nice.
It's come around draw there from Kristen Gordon to the top of the button. Good start for her in this fifth.
Took advantage of the miss there by Karwacki and put it right on the button around the center. So this we're going to see a little bit crowded here, but Carrie's going to blow up the center as soon as she can. This is always an interesting situation to me, Tyler, and I've talked about this with lots of people over the years. If Kristen makes this good and then, you know, Dawn throwing second, or sorry, not Dawn, but Jocelyn throwing second. If she makes a good freeze, there's no doubt that Carrie will walk up and rip those guards. But if she ever came down and kind of made a half shot and kind of chapped and rolled off, and you might get Carrie to draw. It's risky. It's only 3-2, but sometimes made shots lead to things getting blown up really early, and misses can trick teams into kind of sticking around and leaving stuff around that maybe they shouldn't, because they're like, maybe we can win the game right now.
Attack, yeah. So you say that you're going to put the broom down for the freeze, but I want you to throw back 12.
Well, I mean,
bump these around a little bit.
My teams didn't have to say that. I do that half the time. So, but yeah, and I'm not saying it's on purpose, but a good example would be, and I don't want to bring up all the old scar tissue, but that World Final in 2000, I think it was 2009, Martin Murdoch, the famous throw it away. And, Peter Smith was the second for Scotland, and he kind of just chapped and rolled off twice. And Mark made 2 good hit and rolls, but if he didn't chap off, Mark would have had a chance. They never played the double peel.
Right.
So anyway, that's just an example, and I remember that game well because we used to use that at our curling camp all the time. And you see, she made a good freeze, and Carrie's like, no question, we're ripping this.
Right.
But we used to go through that end all the time because it's entertaining.
That may be something that you study and look at. What type of half make, half miss will make our opponent continue to draw and keep this end going, but still doesn't get us into enough trouble that we're actually going to give up a 3.
Okay, that's fine, Don.
Not exactly what Super D was looking for there, but opens up the middle situation.
Pretty good. We got the red on the other side now.
Yeah, that, like Val said, that red coming in, the top 12 one, hitting that into the other red, all the reds are gone, and the yellow probably jams.
Yeah,
so
just no mop and sitting for a bit. Yeah.
Carrie and Kristen Karwacki talking about Kristen's first. That side had sat for a little bit. We've seen that too. If the side doesn't get played for an end or so, generally it gets, I'd say, 6 feet slower, and she missed that by about 6 feet and has been playing really well, so that would make sense. Another guard here from Jocelyn. Don't want to get lazy with these guards. See that often. Want to pick a spot, put it there. Where's the easy double peel? Avoid that.
Let it die. 14-7.
Just trying to let this stone die really tight to the rings here.
14-7? Yeah, basically. Same
And
time
even though they looked at that slash in with the guard where it is, feeling like they have to move the guard, so still playing the run in with the one that they just threw.
I think this can end up not great. You could...
Yeah, the angles aren't...
Plant this.
Fantastic for this.
If this jams, the yellow and the back one are gone. This stays buried, and they're shooting with one buried top 4, but...
That's probably
pretty good.
Pretty good there.
Save the yellow one. You can see over curled a bit of what they were playing. Just missed the top one. If she had to pick that top one, that would have been nasty good.
Bite center.
Still a problem for Team Einarson. The fact that their second shot, at least it's risk reward a bit more for Caitlin.
Like 17 for high, or is that not enough?
Guarding the run back, I would think. 2 run backs is the problem. I think I'd play a come around here, Tyler. What are we saying?
Yeah, I agree. I thought when she moved out there that initially that would be the call, but
Trying to take away both runners, maybe?
yeah, and probably trying to make Carrie waste another rock and maybe go in after this.
Over and off. No. Well, you're fine.
Well executed.
Ooh, do we try the yellow? If we miss it, we're kind of in trouble.
Double peel on the yellows, and if you get lucky, you might hit the second one thin enough that it goes in the rings.
Yeah, that's what Carrie's calling.
That or like red onto one of the yellows. Like that?
Yeah, that could get a little dangerous.
You can get all 3 guards, but
Okay, we'll give this one a go.
a slight over curl.
Yeah, and the guard is so high too. I mean, the yellows are hurting you more. That stone's a nuisance on the center line, but
Watch for fireworks here, though. She could, if she hits it right, she could end up line 2 here.
Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Sounds close.
Roll it. Whoa.
Hello.
Get it.
Hello, and get in the rings,
Oh,
too.
that'll
Oh,
do.
my.
Val Sweeting, what a shot.
Me, oh, my.
You can tell the crowd's not paying any attention to that game.
What did Router used to say? Oramokto. That's quite a shot.
That's a fantastic result there. Great shot by Val. Well called by Carrie. Moves all the guards off the center. Puts one in the rings, now sitting second and third.
And it's a bad situation for Caitlin. Went from triple guarding to hitting to line 2 still, but
yeah, it's a great shot, but to your point earlier, Brent, I mean, if you come around there, then there's zero chance of being in trouble because you have 2 counters in.
panic here. Got this one a little inside and curling. Not bad. I don't know where that double goes.
Yeah, you have to play it high with a lot of weight to get it to go over the top, so the angle ends up pretty good for Laws.
See, they were trying to roll way across, so it's a pretty big miss, but
I'm going to just do this, hey?
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
Or
from down
like
there
even
too.
if we rolled to here, well, don't want to spread them out too much though.
Yeah, yep, I agree.
What turn
Great
are
shot
you
by
seeing?
Xenia Schwaller on her first. Playing a short run and rolling her shooter and the rock she raised into Holman's counter, both into the 8-foot. I'm sure that really gives you a perfect view of what happened for me saying it. But forces Holman to 1. Now leads 3-2 with hammer. Playing the 6th end.
so they're not. They've decided the double jams, and I think they're correct. They're playing actually hit and roll over to try and set up a double for Carrie.
Yeah,
I like Val here. She's 2 ends in a row. You know what? Let's play the easier one for me and hope they leave a double for you.
Yeah, I'm going to make this really tough. 1 rock hit, and then you're going to make a bomb and clear the other 2.
I think
Because
both
we're teammates.
She was right in both cases, I think.
Yeah.
And it worked last end, so. But I think this is a good call, but it doesn't sound like she threw it quite the way she wanted to. Needs to stick around.
Watch the roll, Don. Whoa.
That's perfect.
That's pretty good, yeah. That's going to be near impossible not to leave a double back.
I think Caitlin might throw some speed here and roll into her red. And bump that red right over to that other yellow.
Try to get a little, or I guess not be.
She's thinking if she noses that the double may jam still.
Yeah. This will come up.
I don't think that's true, but
Unless we play weight at it and spread them out.
yeah, I kind of like that.
That's the only other shot.
Nose leaves a pretty thin double. I don't see it ever
Here.
jamming though.
It's like a quarter rock double for her.
Yeah, quarter rock is in to miss the jam,
What
it's
do you like?
quarter rock.
My first thought was to just nose it.
Okay.
What do you like? I don't hate this. If we make it, it's really good.
It's really
we don't.
good. both of them are kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to have to make something here, Selena.
If we do this and sit there.
That's the best result. Yeah. There's a couple ways. Even if you hit it thick, and you might still get a little lucky, just get some separation.
I think like just firm, like 8.5 kind of thing.
Okay.
Half a rock. I don't think we kill that weight.
Okay.
I think it'll come up.
So important to pick the right weight here. It looks like it goes right into that yellow, but if you hit it thick and hard, you could make it go under that yellow, I think. So 8.5 sounds like the right weight.
Spread them out.
8.5, just firm weights or up normal.
Like easy firm, like 8.5. Like half a rock, and then try and sweep that other red right in front of their yellow.
There you go. Caitlin told you exactly what's going on. Let's see if she can make it happen.
Hit the broom, throw the weight, sweep it well, we'll make the shot.
And hopefully get a little lucky on these ones, because you're never quite exactly sure. There's a lot of space between all these stones.
Caitlin Laws her first out turn hit, trying to move her own #1 counter.
It's like a
spread her out. Yeah, that's not good. So that will leave a fairly straightforward double for Einarson. That they think goes underneath. I think it does too.
Always hard to tell on the overhead. It's
I
crazy
don't know
to
if I
think,
can
but it looks
save my shooter.
so much different on the overhead than on the ice.
Yeah, I
That's my
think if
excuse
we're
anyway.
hitting it high side, it is going to touch this.
I think it's going to hit it too.
Are you wanting to hit it here and for it to go over?
I don't think
Can't go
it's
over.
not going over.
I was just wondering if we save your shooter.
Or do we just do this?
Yeah, I
And
think
let
so.
her guard?
'Cause I think if we rip it there, it's taking that, and we're forced anyways.
Yeah.
So.
I think you try it. I'd play the hit and roll behind the corner with a little bit of weight.
Yeah.
Control.
Yeah, it looks to me like it's going to clip it, but
it's one of those that, like, you think it would need to be thicker
in front of it.
to miss that, but it kind of pulls it a little bit if you hit it thin. So you probably would need to hit like
it might clip it if I try the double, or
less
it
than
might
a quarter
jam
of
it,
that
so.
red one, and it may drag just a touch.
Yeah.
Might clip it, might not, but not worth the risk to carry. And she thinks that it probably would touch it. And if you're not sure, then play the one you know is going to give you a chance for 2 or 3 still.
But what if she hits and rolls to the broom here? What's Caitlin going to do? Carrie mentioned let her guard. I don't think that's what she'll do. I think she'll try to make a tough draw to the 4-foot to lie 2. First, she got to execute here, though.
If she was that tight, she hit the other one. She was playing the #1 counter, wasn't she?
No.
Oh, she
no,
was,
no,
she
that was
playing to
actually
hit that
wide.
one?
She was playing the hit and roll right in front to the broom. Yeah. So they're curling it the whole way. It did stick, I think, which
It looks like it's on.
Interesting situation now, because that top 4 rock is a good rock to make a double off of if you have to be in the 8-foot.
That spun out. I liked the guard.
Yeah.
But it didn't spin out, so
Yeah, they
stop
did-
talking about that.
They did not stop the clock when they signaled for timeout originally, so we'll see if they put 10 seconds back on.
Coach Hoodie, I'm pretty
I've
sure
stood
that's Connor
at the
Govan over
pinnacle
there,
of
but I'm not
curling
sure.
and
Somebody
battled
wandered
in the
it off
most
the streets,
intense
I think.
games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
That is classy
Yeah.
plaid flannel. I got my
Yeah.
T-shirt.
If she freezes, you might have like a hit-off shot rock roll and like
I'd rather be
touch
like
it or
to
something.
it than
but
short, I think.
Single here at worst.
Single here is
Yep.
great.
And here, Reed. Oh,
so
this is a coaching battle that I'm just noticing now. Neither one of them are busy curling anymore. I think they went bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Somebody has to do it, but Team
So I
Carruthers out
think
of
we
the spiel.
take there and we can finish it.
Yeah.
Both
I don't want to
coaching.
overcurl.
Yeah, just playing basically a draw to the T line, and it's Selena, like if you have a little bit of a wider line, you put it right beside the 7 inches.
Okay. Okay.
It'll be
Yeah, we threw like 13-8 or whatever, and it was back tee.
Yeah.
But it's been sitting a little bit. I think that'll be similar speed.
Our back eight, just make sure you're just playing the angle, so you tap it on an angle that's a double jab.
Okay.
So like even if you spin down a little bit, it's totally fine.
Okay.
So the best guard, Brent, another rock in the house.
Yeah.
Just playing down to the freeze. All you have to do is make sure that the angle plays into
Yeah, I'd rather not over curl, I don't think.
that number 2 counter if they do try to
Gotta
play
be
the
close.
double. So there's a couple spots you can leave this that you get a good result. But you freeze or get close to that stone anywhere on the high side of it and should be safe.
It's like you can see about half of it. So there's two concerns. You don't want to be like a foot short of it and leave a half rock double for 2 or 3.
I definitely have to give you more than what I gave for the draw the button.
And if it curls, if you're on the nose of it, you can't bump it more than a rock or a rock and a half, or they'll have the double and it'll bump right through between the yellows for 3. It's a precise shot here, but I think they found the right one, because if you freeze on anything on the high side of it, the center line side of it, there will not be a double. So talking about the speed, saying maybe a little slower than the spot she threw a draw last end. I'd love to hear them say, what is it compared to the perfect draw you threw last end, Caitlin?
There you go. That one that you nutted, that you made just perfect.
Slow down. I did, but it's...
Laws' final stone. Just playing this in-turn freeze. Needs to be just behind the tee line. Needs to go for weight right now. Sweeper's trying to carry it. Can't stop short.
The brush.
It's there. It's
really got to thin it to get it over the top, but it is there.
Super thin. This jams almost every time, I think.
If you can just miss even the first one, it jams on the second, you're still getting 2. You don't need to play this with a ton of weight, Brent, because you're kind of finessing it over the top, right?
You could give up a steal here. Half rock with peel, and I think you give up a steal.
Yeah.
Spins out the top, jams. These ones, I don't know what everybody thinks, but I was going to say everybody thinks, but I always think that the second one you're hitting here comes down towards the back of the house a lot more than it goes sideways. Most people misread these and think this is just going clear straight sideways. It's not missing both those yellows unless she loses the shooter.
Yeah.
It needs to go tick, tick, and through is the only way I think it misses both of those.
And she's playing it with weight. Final shot,
So
fifth end.
Kind of has to risk flashing. Woe's not good for Caitlin. It's thick.
And does jam. But gets the single. Now leads 4-2 after 5 ends of play in our feature matchup.
That was so thin. I don't think it was even there, to be honest. I don't even know if it was
Maximizing performance, pushing limits,
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
So Team Einarson forced to a single in the 5th end. Nice draw by Caitlin Laws on her final stone. Get the force. Einarson leads 4-2. Onto the 6th end to play. Winner of this game moves on to the playoff round here at the Grand Slam Curling HearingLife Tour Challenge. Loser will drop down to the C event final. Tyler George with Brent Lang here in the broadcast booth. And Brent, we mentioned before the game that for Team Einarson got to this game with a win over Hasselborg. For Team Laws, dropped down to this B final after a loss to Team Gim. So it does change that pressure a little bit that you're coming off a loss. You don't want to come down to one game to get in after making the A final. So for Team Laws, really would like to get a 2 here and try to get this to a tie game going to the 7th.
For sure, and you could hear Reed Carruthers, Team Einarson coach, talking to Carey in between, talking about the plan, how we're going to play this end, and then finishing with a blank here is really good. Being up 2 without playing 7 in an 8-end game is really good. They're in control, so. But enough time that if Caitlin can score a deuce here, force in 7, like you said earlier, Tyler, 2-1-2 wins the game. Used to say, hey boys, 2-1-2, walk off.
I think we're there. A little for line.
An old friend, when I bartended in the Duluth Curling Club, that was his order was a 2-1-2. It was 2 shots of brandy, 1 shot of sweet vermouth, and 2 shots of water.
15-3.
Yeah.
What is that?
I did not try it to see if it was any good. That'd be Dick Fisher, for those in Duluth that know him.
I don't know, Dick. I'm not a fan of that one.
And once brandy comes into play, I think I'm out anyways. But Corbell was his brandy of choice. One of the things you remember when you tend.
Perfect start again from Kristen. Top 4, tight guard. So Kristen Gordon now being asked to freeze. In between ends there, I'm on the new Grand Slam of Curling app, and I'm in the rock shop. All the stuff you need.
Brent's doing a little
shopping. Cool new logo.
He gets a pretty good discount.
I hope so. Actually, the prices are really reasonable, too.
They are.
If you don't have the Grand Slam of Curling app, you're missing out. That's where it's easy to access the streaming, the scores, the shop, the schedule, you name it. That's where it is.
I also recommend, to make some noise here in the arena, pick up the Loud Cup.
Yeah, it's not on here. That's what I was looking for.
That you can get right at the stand itself, but apparently not on the site yet. But as Brent said, the gear is fantastic. New branding for the Grand Slam Curling. We've got our gear. We're company men.
Got to be on brand, as I'm not right now, but I got to pick up my stuff today. Yeah, the Loud Cup. It's like like any regular reusable cup, except you turn it around and blow in the one end, and it's like a horn.
Yeah.
With or without beverages in it, it makes that sound. So in St. John's, I think that's going to be nuts.
Yeah, I think they're going to need a couple thousand of those things in the sales tent.
Good shot by Dawn there, too, and a good setup. Like, Caitlin almost needs to clean up here as much as she wants to do, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, generally, you don't want the middle plugged up if you have hammer, but both those rocks barely out of the rings and both your color, protecting your own stone, so you're in control of the front of the house. So this is a good setup for Einarson, and Law's doing just what Brent said. Trying to clear those 2 yellow stones and keep the red rock up there.
Need to save the shooter somehow.
And this is over curling for the double. Or the run.
In between, I thought she was playing the double on the 2 there, and keep the shooter right there would have been good. That's not a great result, but that red's in a pretty good spot. I think it's still raisable onto shot rock.
That's a 2. Three's good.
Carey keeping control of the front. Throwing another guard up. Making Team Laws waste some rocks.
Also want to guard the centerline side of that red one, Jocelyn's shooter there, because if they hit and roll, you could get both of them in the rings and open up that side of the sheet. So.
We're way out there. Switch. We're way in a different path.
We've seen these rocks really turn over after starting out wide, so expect this to finish, but needs the weight to get there.
Whoa. Whoa.
Close up that hole.
That works, done.
That's a good call by Carey to let that die, because...
Didn't take away that shot I was talking about, though, did they?
No. No, it did not. But if they keep hammering that and sweeping it, you could probably dig that stone out with hack.
That works. 3/4.
Kate going to try to clear both of these stones, but also roll the red into the rings.
Looks like probably a heavy hack, half a rock. Getting close.
Did they bruise it? Oh, that's really good. Great shot.
Great result.
And look where that red ended up, too. The number 2 counter. That's as good as you can do that. That's fantastic.
Throw here.
Jocelyn Peterman.
Do you like that or we freeze?
I think you got to freeze here, don't you? And would Caitlin play off her own? Bruce Mallett would.
Freeze is good.
Bruce would definitely play off his own. But they are coming around right to that red number 2 counter. In turn for the southpaw, Val Sweeting.
Easy line. Easy. Tap bounce. Whoa. Whoa.
Needs to be second shot on the red one. This looks like it's cooking.
No, never. Never.
There is no audible.
No.
Oh, just needs to dig.
Yep. Whoa. Can't. No.
Don't let it sit on the corner of that yellow.
Okay.
Rip that double.
2.
Unforced error from Val. She will not be happy with that one.
Yeah, that rock is pretty much wide open, so be shocked if both these yellows aren't exiting the premises shortly.
We need to make that right now. Just the roll. Okay.
Yeah, you definitely need to go right now.
Sorry, 10-5.
Did she say we need to make it? Or I think she said we don't need to make that right now.
Oh, I heard we need to, but she's playing it. Maybe just taking the pressure off the shooter. Hey, you don't need to make this.
Said 10.5, which isn't the weight to make the double.
Well, that is really light to play this shot, but that's more than 10.5. Doesn't clear both. Actually moves it to a not great spot either.
9.6, so that's a second heavy. That's a lot of extra weight, but still over curled. So just not getting it right on the right line there. Something went awry there. Tight slide or a soft release.
You could play this and I kick that to there, but
You can see it still sucks for Carrie.
are those even or? This one's a hair deeper than this.
I don't really mind playing off your own to get rid of that now.
Like nose is not bad.
We're hitting roll off fourth shot all the way across.
Off the red, not your own. But yeah, I'm not sure where you're rolling to.
No, we're
What do
good.
you like? Yeah.
She's not just playing the nose hit here.
That's what she called. Just hitting it on the beak. Thinking that maybe the double's a little thinner.
Almost like hitting and rolling behind the corner just to outcount the far one and take, make sure this doesn't get away from us and give up 3.
Yep. Whoa. Curl.
If she noses this, is there not a thin double?
Sit. Good.
That's an accidentally pretty good roll.
Yeah, that'll work. Not much of a double there.
No double, but hit and roll and just bump that red one ever so slightly. I mean, if you got really good, you bump it a half a rock, so you got them on both sides.
Yeah, my father would call that the Mickey Mouse. Have a stone on both sides
Mickey
of
ears.
it for the Mickey ears, yeah. Yeah, that would be a great result.
Just move this
But if you move it a rock too far, you're gonna hate it because you're gonna leave the
double
wide
underneath.
Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
10.5. That was a 9.5, yeah.
That'd be more like the Dumbo ears then?
Sure. I've got both of those things going on under this headset. I need an extra large headset here.
10-5, same as what we said, roll. And push that right in front of the yellow.
Yeah, I love the call here. If you can ever just nudge that over so it's a little better than edge to edge with both stones, that would be trouble for Carey.
Gonna need some really good communication here, because if it is curling, you gotta let it curl and bump that red one far. Then you might leave a triple. Kind of just one you gotta make, and down 2 and 6, this is a huge opportunity.
Sweepers think it's a little up.
Hard curl. Hard curl. All you got. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go.
Looks high.
Okay.
Yeah, 9-9.
That needed to curl another, not a ton, like another 2 inches, 3 inches maybe to be perfect. That was a lot of weight to play on that shot again. I don't know if she called 9-9. I think she called 10-5
I
again.
think, yeah, the sweepers immediately put their hand up in the air, which generally means it's up.
So,
Okay, control.
where's she rolling here? Because this is one where if you rolled buried, it would be awesome.
Yeah.
Like right, just cross buried and be on the far side of the red one. But rolling just like a half a rock towards the center is really bad. This is one where if you're really close and just missed, it's horrible. But if you miss by a bit, it's not so bad.
She's got a really tight broom here, too.
Yeah, I think she said 9.5.
I'd expect this to get over the top of it.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa! Curl!
It's fading backwards a little bit, though.
Whoa!
Karwacki trying to get it to turn.
9-5.
Not a good result there. Caitlin can make this double.
Big again?
Into her own hard, it'll come down. Needs some pace. About a half a rock, probably. She disagrees.
Do you like trying to make a play here?
Sorry?
Do you like trying to make a play on ours?
Yeah.
Probably hard to kill both those yellows.
Or we just hit and try and line
Yeah,
them
if you
up
can
so we
ever
have
get
something on the next one.
Like the 2?
to nose of your own.
You need to be
Top
shot
8.
here.
Yeah, you probably sit 2 as long as
Can't
the
get
weight's
shot
there.
this way, but
Guard's pretty high.
don't really want to waste a ton of time.
I think you can get shot. It looks
think we
like
call timeout.
how hard Caitlin can throw it.
Timeout
See what
being called.
Coach Connor Hoodie thinks.
It will be their second and final timeout for the game.
I feel like we have to try and get shot here, but
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if the same shot we were kind of trying with Selena's is any good.
Like move this to here.
And if you hit it too thin, Caitlin, you're just clipping on the backside and the green is still pretty darn good, right? As long as we hit it thin and move the red at all,
yeah.
you gotta be careful. She's probably gotta play some sort of slash in there.
So
Right?
thin,
Too
and
late
then
to
even if
play
we get
this,
this
Brent?
here, then this one's open.
Yeah, like I think ideal
Yes
for
and
us is to
no.
push it like 3 inches.
Yeah, you're playing a 10.5, but as thin as possible, basically.
Sorry?
Like a 10.5 as thin as possible.
Yeah, 10 and a half and just hit it thin. Like just move. If you hit it too thin and cut the backside of the 3, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Let's just try to like get it in there. And
If that red corner guard wasn't there, I would say it's too late. But rolling this to the center line, like there's not going to be a very good draw path for Carey. If she could just throw a wide draw to the 4-foot, yeah, this is too late. But it's complicated. If that rock's 2 inches higher, that yellow, and they're hitting, I really would like to throw peel and get that moving in there. But I like the intern.
10.5. I think you can be brooms down.
Yeah, I don't know what I like.
We have to.
Be very uncomfortable for Carey. I think she's just going to throw even the intern to the wing is a fadeaway. That's awkward, just keeping the 8-foot too. So there's going to be a lot of pressure if she makes this, so I don't hate it.
Law's playing in off the rock, the top 12s. Trying to move her own. That's not terrible.
Problem is, how do you get to it?
Yeah. You have the slash in with the red.
Pretty good.
maybe you can get tight to the guard and play it. You have actually 2 slashes with red.
So it should have hit it there really hard, like a hair thinner. The yellow would have been moving. I don't think it would have left town, though, so. Super uncomfortable for Carey, and this is what I meant about that corner guard. If that's not there, this is a pretty easy shot to make a force. You're drawing the piece of the forefoot.
That should be really close.
Yeah, you just got to make sure it gets off that corner.
And not onto that red.
Yep.
Top 8.
Yeah. Trust that the draw to the button path is what you saw earlier.
We're going to see either a follow down for 1 or if a little mistake, there's going to be a shot for 4. If she
So we want like
gets tight and chaps off, there might be a double for 3 for sure.
Yeah, the strange thing with that, Brent, was the rock rolling in front of it actually makes the soft weight hit considerably harder because now you're adding another rock to the transfer.
I don't even think it's possible
so
now.
You probably can't get rid of that yellow stone.
You'd have to throw the slide to the corner and hook it.
Yeah.
And these kids can't do that, Tyler. They didn't grow up on ice that fell. But a humongous shot here, biggest shot of the game right now.
Okay, well, then I think I got there.
Carey can get it running straight, which is a good thing on this shot. Don seems to like it, but it looks like it's trucking.
Yeah, it hasn't really started curling yet. Now it's curling.
Steal chance if this is good speed.
That's really digging.
Needs to stop still.
That's pretty good.
That's really good.
girls.
Breathe, Carey, breathe. That got uncomfortable in a hurry.
It curls for.
Yeah, good shot there by Carey. That's looks like it's a fairly big spot to throw to, but again, the way the corner is positioned, it was a little dicey on the line.
Hair stickier in this pass. Hair stickier.
So Carey,
Or like a 13
Caitlin needs to
crisp
follow
on
Carey
there.
down.
Like 14. I'm taking like our path, like 14-ish.
Our path, so obviously thinking that they throw it a little different maybe. So got to have this one. Can't go down. Probably if you're going to give up a steal here, it's going to be a steal of 2. So that's no good. Must make from Caitlin.
Final stone, 6th end for the 2-time Olympic gold medalist and 1-time world champion, Caitlin Laws. Needs to get full forefoot for her single point.
Do you need the backing, girl?
Looks pretty good.
May need the backing here, but no, it should settle in just fine. That is 1 for Team Laws. Again, cut the deficit to 1. And after 6 ends, Einarson leads 4-3 with hammer.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, we're your place. Eat locally, enjoy casual.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms, light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
I've stood
Einarson leading. Carey with hammer in the 7th end.
It's really curling.
Brent, the cat and mouse game again now with Carrie looking to get 0 or 2. Caitlin just hoping somebody scores 1, unless it's her and she can score more than 1. But looking ahead to the finish of the end, we've seen this situation a few times throughout the week where the skip of the team with hammer up 1 has had the option of whether to take a point or give a point on their last shot. And we've seen varying degrees of if they want to have that point or not. If you want to be tied up with hammer, if you want to be 2 up without. I'm sure all the teams look at their own stats. What do you prefer in that spot?
I definitely prefer up to tied, I think, still.
Rachel Holman with a fantastic double.
But where that changes is I definitely like taking a chance even at a hard shot for multiple as opposed to an easy shot for 1.
Yeah.
So that's where my head's at. I think Caitlin, force here. You only need 1 guard. A lot of times you'll see 2 guards here. I'm interested to see if she called it. She just didn't call it because the team knows. They talk in between ends. They know what they're playing here.
Line's good.
Caitlin's walking out of the house, which says they are throwing the second guard. I like this. Extra risk, but if I'm,
I don't know if that one's going to get over.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
Got all 3 of them sweeping there.
Good
Got
sweep.
Jocelyn, Caitlin, and the baby.
Good rush.
Good scrub to get it over.
Good shot. Didn't hold the center line, but yeah, if I'm Carey, I don't want to see that second center guard, so that tells me that Caitlin should throw it. So this is that spot that Kristen missed the 1 shot of the game that she's missed 2 ends ago. But she had no problem on her first one this end. If she can get this right square on the nose of that one, even bump it a half a rock, it goes a long way and closing this end off.
Whoa, we still got max line. We can
Always
go
dawns. Always dawns.
Full 12. Little tap.
Really need this to turn over.
Go ahead, Dawn. Yep. Good.
Yeah, good shot.
Pretty good, angled right to the button, and that's where Caitlin wants to end up with a rock. So
very strong game for Karwacki.
You're not going to stick with her nickname? You said you didn't come up with it.
I'm a little uncomfortable with it.
Yeah, I think you should be.
The only reason I brought it up is she specifically said that was her nickname.
That's fair.
We're gentlemen here in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
No,
before 8
no
p.m.
jokes to be
anyway.
made. Yeah.
Jocelyn,
Stick around for the night draw tonight.
We get our loud cups out, blow the horn.
Those cups are fun. Highly recommend picking them up. We're going to mandate that those get on the online shop as well.
This looks pretty good. Need to get one behind the button. Just a shade light. That's almost perfect. But now you let Carey peel because they're still line 2 and nothing to freeze to behind the tee line.
Yeah, good result there. Really good shot. I think I see the big boss Nolan Thiessen in the building now too.
He's not the boss in this building, brother.
Not this one, no.
Whoa, no, curl.
It's nice to see the almost collaboration between different organizations, and Nick Selsky and his group, the curling group, are big on that. All boats rise in the, how does it go?
Fair, Kristen.
All boats rise in the rising tide or something like that.
It's close.
Rising tide raises all boats. That's getting closer.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying.
I do know. I don't have it straight either. So
It's
I'm
fine.
not going to try to.
We're going with that.
figure it out.
But that idea and cross promotion and growing the game as a whole is good for everybody, and that's what the curling group I think is already doing.
A rising tide lifts all boats.
See, exactly what I didn't say.
Yeah. You pretty much said it.
You got it right. Like you get it. Quotes.
With that paragraph, all those words were in there.
Right? There was a boat, water.
Going up.
So going for the freeze, that's where they tapped on the first one here. Probably won't get shot, but this line looks perfect. Did they lose it?
Girl, get it in there. Get it in there. Go, go, go.
Oh, that's really good.
Nice. Good sweep.
Good shot.
Good spot.
14-6.
Just things starting to pile up a little bit. The center of the sheet. It's good for Team Laws.
I like the peel if I'm Carey, because I don't see how they can get another one in there, and I'm loving where that third shot rock is. Because for them to get shot, they got to bump that red one back, and then that angle on the third shot to the yellow to the red is pretty makeable.
Carrie trying to get some granite moving with Super D. Dawn McEwen.
Didn't sound like she loved that.
Really hard.
So close.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Okay, Don.
That's not a great result there.
Trying to be nice to Dawn there, saying not bad, but that's pretty bad.
I never liked hearing that's not terrible. Because that says something else it's not, which is good.
True. It's interesting what you want to hear. That's part of developing a team, is knowing what you do and don't want to hear. And some of the things Jen says to me, mixed doubles, and she said it to her teams forever. What are they? How do I put this? They're not my favorite.
Yeah. You have an example of one of those things?
Well, she says sorry a lot, and she doesn't like my response either. And it's like, when she's sorry, and it's like, why? Did you do it on purpose? She doesn't like that either. But no, in all seriousness, it is.
Okay.
It's something you want to know. What is?
Good speed.
Yeah.
What does your skip want to hear? It's more important. What do they not want to hear? You
Yeah.
know, tough one, or nice try. Very few people want to hear nice try.
Yeah, and in talking with younger teams, especially too, it's telling them you need to learn about each other so you know individually what you can say to them and what's going to get the most out of them or what's going to make them upset. Because you wouldn't say the same things to Koo that you'd say to Mark or anything like that. It's a completely different person. Yeah.
Do they ever switch gears here? Probably not. This double peel is probably the play, but you could come down and just bump it. That back yellow one, I know it's shot, but I've given up hope for that one scoring if I'm Team Einarson. So the sooner that one gets moved, the better.
Yeah, I think Carrie's in blank mode if she can get there, but really doesn't want this middle plugged up.
I'm trying to skip here to make sure we don't give up a steal at 2.
Yeah.
I want to tick this second because don't want it going back into the house.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
a big shot.
What a shot by Val, yeah. Move that stone and not put it in the rings, but the shooter still goes off.
On cue, Carrie says, tough one, Dawn, to Dawn. See? So maybe, and she does like to hear that because that's a Jenism. She used to say that all the time.
Yeah. So Carrie's gone to school on that with Dawn.
Could be. So how's this going to play out? Got to keep guarding. I'd keep peeling if I'm Carrie. What does Caitlin do on her last? Probably hits it in lies 3, and I got to make a double to give her one. If she makes a mistake, maybe I have a double for one. I think I've got to be okay with that now. She might try and make the perfect bump and keep the angle so that I can't play a double. That wouldn't be good.
Yeah, the angles still play very well for Caitlin here.
So in a normal end here, you're going to play the out turn, lefty out turn, draw through the hole and bump it.
That was kind of
But
my first thought.
things kind of change.
We do have a time with
Can't-
timeouts.
Might be time for a timeout here.
Turning point. Are we okay with one?
I think you want to talk to Reed here.
Yeah.
Okay with one.
Johnny.
The hit and roll is great. If you don't roll and they lock another one on, you're trying to hold them to a steal at 2.
That's one thing we've done well predicting this week is timeouts.
Let's hear what Rama has to say. I love his timeouts, actually. He's direct to the point.
He's moving, too.
Oh, a lot of energy
You
left.
don't need to beat your team down there.
Okay.
Feel like if we make this, like it's looking like we're forced. If we peel,
It's optimistic.
she guards. Like try doing that.
Does she guard again for sure if they peel?
Think so.
Does she think about freezing?
Maybe. Then you can maybe come off the outside one, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just getting really late for that.
Yeah, it's your last ring.
Yeah.
Cause like if we peel, if she guards, then I'm probably playing this, and then.
Yeah.
Well, she's tipping her hand a little too.
You can't let her freeze behind the guard again. That would be disastrous. So how do we make sure that we either beat her there or we peel the guard?
Yeah. Okay. So we wait like one more to change gears and peel for now, or?
If you're peeling and take a conservative crack at the 2-3.
Yeah.
That's a good call too.
Sorry, what? Doing that?
Yeah. Go conservative. You like that, Val?
Yeah, I'm good with either. I don't mind the hit and roll. We got to make the roll.
You can go hard at the roll.
Yeah. You probably have more than I do, but
yeah.
I don't hate that.
If you make the roll, it's pretty unlikely Stila 2 is ever back in the picture.
I have like that much air.
But playing this shot is probably the only way Stila 2's in the picture.
Yeah, if you don't make it.
I like here.
Hit and rolls are not the easiest shot out here. They're the most precise. I like what Reed said, though. If you're going to play it, go for it. Take tight ice, because even if it took off and you wrecked the guard, okay, or if you hit it thin and rolled right into the red, that wouldn't be bad either. I know you're going to leave red shot, but cannot let Caitlin get another red one on the red one on the top of the button.
Knows we can use it for a slash.
I loved Carrie's optimism. Looks like we're forced. I would say so.
Forced, not a terrible result here to go up 2 with.
No, I would pay a lot of money to be forced right now if I'm Team Einarson.
Val Sweeting playing an in-turn hit and roll. Early sweep here from McEwen. They're going to thin it and move them both.
Whoa.
Oh,
Good
perfect
shot.
What a
roll.
shot.
Great shot, Val. She has been very strong, especially in the second half of this game.
Nothing wrong with the call if you're going to make it perfect.
Yep. Yeah, that's the shot to play if you're going to make it, no question.
Yeah, I like that. Then we're
Still looks like a steal to me a lot of times, but Carrie's going to have a shot for multiple points now. I think.
I'm feeling the peel.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, we'll get one in there.
Well, it's
Yeah, and
just
that
if we
essentially
never,
eliminates the
in
steal
way
of
you're
2.
playing, you're making everything.
You would
So
think
That's
so.
the biggest thing in this situation.
Without a disaster. So Caitlin coming down, going to bump that, I think.
Or maybe giving up one.
Get shot.
This one is probably securing her one.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what Carrie's going to do. I changed my mind. I don't think she's going to have a shot for 2.
You should have a slash.
But she might, though.
Yeah,
Before that shot, she was not going to have a shot for 2 for sure.
Yeah, that worked out. Is she trying to move this then?
I think so.
I'll take ours back, and hopefully you have like a slam.
Slam, yeah.
Try and keep 2 of ours.
Yeah.
In turn through the hole. Caitlin Laws. Her T-line the call from the sweepers. Needs to get off the corner guard.
Yikes.
Oh. Did that make contact or did it get by? I think it got by.
I think it got by.
There's shot.
A little more than T-weight, too. Moved all
What do you
3
like now?
stones.
I think.
Peel.
Peel.
Yeah, it looks like a steal either way. Like if you slam the 4, the 5 probably only freezes that.
Yeah.
And then they might. If we
Unless
peel,
if I do that though, if I just sit here, and then they might have another access at it, or even if I hit it thick.
Yeah. Just throw like a normal or something to try and keep all of these. Yeah, I like that.
Normal?
Yeah.
So they talked their way through it and making some sense. It's a dangerous situation, as they see. They think of hitting this, it's about getting your rock in position for maybe the next one. The fear is this is just going to...
Other one, Kristen, like our yellow, just make sure to get it over there just in case, but I want to just sit right there.
Yeah, there you go. So see where that second yellow should go off the red and long ways, and that red just goes back frozen. So the concern is you leave the outturn freeze to lie 2.
Einarson with the in-turn hit attempt. In through the hole. Really want the shooter to stay. Hanging out a little bit right now. Okay.
Another kicker. Can't really lie two at least. Could, I guess, with back four, but then she'd have that same shot for net four.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah. What's she doing?
I think she can. She's guarding, but man, you could probably sit two.
You definitely can.
Is it? You'd leave that short run for Carrie through the hole, but I mean, you're making her throw it against two. And that's your one chance of flipping the percentages for the game.
Overburied. Yeah, you could lie
she's not coming in.
But you move that back yellow one, and then Carrie gets through that hole with firm, and I guess you're hoping it jams on the wide one, or else it could be three.
Yeah, there might be enough separation with the two reds that it would still jam on the yellow that you're tapping back, though. So
yeah,
I think I'd be coming around with that out turning tapping it, mostly because maybe it does give Carrie a shot, but again, the only way you flip the percentages for the game is to steal two. If you steal one, you're still a pretty big dog to win the game. You force, you're still a dog to win the game. And you're playing to give yourself a 20% chance of winning by guarding.
Probably that's what the stats say. Yeah, I don't think Carrie can really. She can take something on here. Like there's no risk. I think this. I wouldn't.
Since it's so high, we could get a little unlucky.
I'd play the center one back. I don't see how you give up two that way. And you can score two. Across the top, plant it on the button.
I don't think.
I don't see how you hit that and give up two.
I think you're right on that angle. But they'll throw it away.
We got action.
We will be all tied up. Going to final end of action here in our feature matchup. Be right back.
At the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When you've conquered another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call, where your place.
Here in our feature matchup, B event final.
We're over curling.
The Grand Slam of Curling, HearingLife Tour Challenge, Charlottetown, PEI.
Where are you?
Lang, Caitlin Laws, Carrie Einarson tied 4-4 into the final end. Einarson throwing her last shot away. Not liking any risk-reward shot to try to score multiple points and giving the point to Caitlin, but Brent's still a pretty significant favorite to win the game. Again, a little surprised that Laws didn't try to flip the odds by putting themselves in position to sit two on that last shot.
Yeah, I think she just decided it was a difficult shot, take the automatic steal. I think if she tried that and rolled off, might have left a run into a pocket for a pile and handshakes. So risk reward is always the case, but a bit of a mistake here. Kristen Gordon didn't hold on to the center line, but Karwacki's going to return the favor. It's probably a little bit heavy there.
A little up.
Yeah, usually for that shot, you're looking at around back line. Some teams even play back 12, back 8, just to barely move them. We like to play around back line, but that was almost hack, looked to be. It's a little blip from Karwacki, who's played such a strong game. Both leads have been solid.
I would think you'd see another guard, but there's not a lot of room. That
Yeah,
one's
it's
just
right
better
in the
than
middle.
halfway. So this needs to be nice and high on the center line.
Curl it. The line's good. Line's good, Josh.
I want it to stop now. The closer they are, the easier the double peel, and it lines up pretty good for a double peel.
Sure does.
But for Carrie, I think, yeah, you just leave those be. No need to play the tick because you like the way they're lined up. Come around to the top of the forefoot for Karwacki.
A little less than I was thinking.
Line's good.
Line's good.
Final over on sheet A. Team Rana with a 6-3 victory over Team Peterson/TC.
There it goes.
So they move on to the playoffs.
Yep.
For Team Peterson now
14-2.
lost the A and B event final, dropping to the C.
We're there.
One more chance to qualify.
Yep.
Perfect shot from Karwacki. That's exactly where you want that stone.
14-2.
14-2, so the speed's staying pretty good. I think if I'm Caitlin, yeah, I'd probably go in and turn around everything.
You got it.
I'm Carrie, I want her to freeze here. I don't want her to be shot rock. And this,
Yeah, you're
this
not
won't be in the forefoot either.
You're not winning the game with this draw. Freezing to the rock top fours. You're only going to be full 8-foot if you make it. I agree. I think you wrap right around all the way.
Where?
Plus the double peel, when it's attempted, maybe made, comes back towards that one. And if it's the intern, at least it comes back towards the yellow one.
Yeah, you can definitely go around it with this weight.
Yeah. Yep. Keep going. You still got it. You still got it.
Between her. So that's what I'm talking about. Can you entice Carrie to hit that one? And no, she's not taking no bait.
Nope.
14-1. I feel like we should have just curled back.
Yep. Yeah, it'll run there for you. You got it.
It's a big double peel attempt here from Super D, Don McEwen.
Yep. Hard.
Uh-oh. Sounds tight.
Whoa.
Thick way, maybe?
Okay, done.
And it covers that draw path on the outturn side with the shooter now, too.
Getting a little congested here now.
I don't think so. Maybe. Wait, where are we going? Does that matter? Where are we going? Coming right in. I like coming in still. Yeah. Are we freezing to that? Yeah, I like it.
Playing the freeze again now. Joss Peterman.
Yeah.
Red one is shot, right? Yeah, I don't know. Could guard it, I guess. Right to the freeze. Does Carrie hit the...
Okay, easier, Whoa.
Might hit second shot and lie two, but who knows?
She may try to run the guard into the #1 counter, too. Needs to get off the corner guard, though.
See?
Whoa.
Hit it pretty hard, and that is as easy as double peels come.
Yeah, that's lined up very well for it.
Oh, and I'm playing the thick way. Okay.
Well, it'll make it a little tougher.
The
Maybe
other
not,
way,
I
but
guess, with that angle.
You got it.
3/4.
Could come the other way. Could come straight back on the yellow. So this is not nearly as easy as I first thought.
A little more.
Double peel attempt for McEwen.
Yep. Whoa.
Needs to hit fairly thick to get them to both go. Just like that.
Shot, Don.
Great throw, Don.
Perfectly done.
Well, to make her feel better, she had a couple of runners this end, one last end she didn't love, but you see she makes it the thick way, which you got to risk kind of nosing it, which is not what you want to do. But clean it up a little bit, but still a good chance here for Team Laws. I think I'd be guarding the red one now for sure. Doesn't look like they are, though.
Line's good.
Looks like Team Hasselberg about to run out of steam here.
Line's good.
Team Kim, open hit for the win, and I think that knocks them out. One of the favorites coming in, you would think.
Yeah, that's the end of the tournament for Team Hasselborg. Kim with a 6-3 victory to move on to the C event finals, which will be this evening for the women's side of the draw at 8 p.m.
Good sweep. Yeah! Hard! Whoa!
Sounds close.
Val trying to get rid of both these reds.
Just a little conservative. Yep. Can't blame him. Still giggling. That's a good sign.
I don't think I could throw it there on this side. I'm like, oh my God, I'm nosing it.
Rachel Holman about to throw her last shot, and really nice draw tap by Xenia Schwaller on her last to put Rachel in a difficult spot with this shot to try to get to. Probably needs to
What do you guys think? Halfway?
lose at least one of her own to make it.
Good news is she only needs 2. I don't see that back one going out. It's like a nose hit, control weight nose hit.
16?
Gotta get close to the guard, but so they are switching. They're gonna guard the red shot rock, which.
Yeah, I think that's the correct play, because if you're just center guarding, that gives them the chance to slash, lose both, and roll the shooter off.
Not to mention, then you got to make a come around one that's full top 4. Like that's the one you're coming around, not the guard, because it's in front of the other one. So crowd will get loud here for Canadian Rachel Holman if she can make this one. Good shot by Selena.
Yeah, I took a hard turn on Rachel. Really tight to the guard. Oh, gets by. What a shot. She looks a little confused by it, but Rachel Holman gets the victory. She will move on to the playoffs. Xenia Schwaller drops down to the C final.
So how do you see this playing out, Tyler? I mean, they're going to be another guard here, and if she can, I think she'd probably chase this if you're Carey.
Yeah, if you get the chance to, if you can even move it out of the 4-foot, then that's your play. You'll have 2 rocks in the top of the 4-foot blocking off the button. So I think worst case scenario, if you dig that out and move it, you probably would have to draw full 4 for the win.
Mm-hmm. So Caitlin needs to make sure this doesn't over curl. If you are going to leave a chase, you want to leave a chase on the high, so the wide side. But it might be time just to make a perfect guard. What do we think? Right on the HearingLife.
Yeah, that looks to be the play. On the logo or just short of it.
Keep going. No, we're over curling. No.
Pretty high.
Oh. Take a seat.
Yeah, you can definitely dig it out now. You're not afraid of that guard. I think you have to have a go at it.
Tempting. Here, the yellow one's kind of in the way. If that yellow one wasn't there, this would be very comfortable.
I think you have a go, and if you wreck the guard, you just got to make sure you roll the shooter as far away as you can.
If she makes it, though, Caitlin's going to have nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
Be hard for her even to get shot rock.
Yeah, if she makes it, Caitlin might have to try to skinny the guard pocket and move them both out of the 4s, and then again, it's either a dig or a draw to the 4-foot for Carey for the win. So a big shot here. 100% agree with the call. Four-time Scotties champion, Carrie Einarson. Soft weight, trying to move that red out of the 4-foot.
Back on release, I thought.
Yeah.
A little panic here. Like, how about clean?
Yeah.
Better girl Valak. Carrie is never not intense. She brings the fire. That's just her personality.
I don't think she says clean a lot.
No, she's a sweeper. Nobody calls more sweeping than Scott Howard.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, some teams are just, hey, it's your makeup, it's your personality. So.
You like that?
But like you said here, now Caitlin's got to try and make a double. This is a tough double
without
the guards.
Together.
Not sure what Selena's sweeping there. Is playing this in the crotch, right?
I think she has to.
You gotta just go firm and try and hit this one first.
Yeah, guard just needed to be tighter on the.
Yeah, and couldn't over curl that way. If you left the chase the other way, at least you'd have a come around somewhere. But Great shot there by Carey. Had it the whole way. Wasn't the carve straight, carve straight, carve straight.
Clean, probably worked perfect.
She's into it. She's into it for sure. Gotta love it.
Final stone for Caitlin Laws. Trying to at least make Einarson throw her last. Needs to move both of these out of the fours. Yeah, just over curled a touch. So that'll do it. Carrie Einarson advances to the playoffs. 5-4 victory over Team Laws. Caitlin will drop down to the C event final. Broadcast crew, we will be back with a 4 p.m. draw this afternoon. Feature game for this 4 o'clock. Drum roll, please. Schwaller and Dunstone.
Heavyweight tilt.
Myself and John Cullen will be on the call, and we may have an interesting game for you this evening with possibly all 3 of us in the booth doing some wraparound type coverage. But for myself, Tyler George, and Brent Lang, we are signing off. We will see you at 4 o'clock Atlantic time.